There's a lot of talk about, ever since Deadpool 3 was announced, about, I'm sure it's going to be a lot of cameos, especially when it became revealed that part of the story was going to involve multiverse. So there are going to be a lot of cameos, been a lot of whispers, a lot of talks. So we thought, well, actually weeks ago we thought to do this, but we're just getting around to doing it today. We thought it would be fun to actually take the 25 or more of the potential cameos we could see in Deadpool Wolverine, and we're going to rank them in a chart. Here's the chart. So we will either say, when we bring up a potential cameo, it's either in the A slot, which is absolutely, we 100% believe that person will be in there. B, which will be, yeah, I think they'll probably be in it. C is a coin toss, 50-50. D is probably not, and E is no chance in hell. So that's what we got. A, B, C, D, and E. That's how we're going to do it. If you guys are ready to go, let's go. Candidate number 1, Ben Affleck's Daredevil. I'll tell you what, listen, Jennifer Garner, we already know she's probably going to be in it. So, and Jennifer Garner, yes, they're exes, her, Ben Affleck, but they co-parent, they get along great. They're very supportive of each other. And so we got Ben Affleck as Daredevil. I'm going to go ahead and say, I believe that is a C. I think we're looking at a 50-50 shot. Rob, what about you?
I think C is good, 50-50.
So you go C on that
I'll
as
go
well?
C with you.
Jonathan?
Yeah, because we're already getting Jennifer Garner. I don't know that they're going to dip too much into all these worlds. I think you're going to get cameos, a little taste. So I'm going to go C.
Ray, what about you?
I'm going to go to the lowest one.
You're going to go E.
Yeah, I'm going to go E.
All right. Well, we got 3 votes in here for C, so we're going to put him, Ben Affleck as Daredevil.
After the Dunkin' Donuts commercial, he's up for anything.
He's up for anything. All right. Let's get on to the next one. The next one we've got is any minute now.
Pal.
And we are having a problem, but I'll just bring it up and say if and when the picture ever comes up, we'll get around to it. Thomas Jane as the Punisher. Thomas Jane as the Punisher. And there he is. Finally got the picture up. I'll tell you what, this one might be a little bit more out there in left field, but we do have Punisher coming, you know, into Daredevil. Thomas Jane is a lot of people's favorite Punisher. I'll tell you what, I'm going to go a C on this. I think it's as high as a C. Rob, what about you?
I'm going to go D on it.
You're going to D, so you think less, why less likely?
Because he's kind of far away. I think, you know what I think? If there's going to be Punisher in this movie, it's Dolph Lundgren.
I thought about putting Dolph on the list, but that one is so obscure that I think you put him up there, because here's my question, though. What purpose is there to a cameo if the audience doesn't even know what you're talking about? You know what I mean? But I think there'd be more people who would get the Thomas Jane one.
Since it's not, I don't have to rate Dolph Lundgren.
That's true.
I'm just saying, I think if there is the Punisher, the Dolph Lundgren thing would be so out there. Whereas Thomas Jane's respectable. You know, he's the kind of guy, okay, we can't have our other, you know, War Journal Punisher, unfortunately, we can't have. But I think Thomas Jane's respectable. I think Ryan Reynolds, he's the only guy in the world who would bring Dolph Lundgren back as the Punisher. The only guy.
So you're going to go D on Thomas Jane.
I'm going to go D.
Jonathan, what about you?
Yeah, I'm going D on him as well, but not for the reasons that Rob is claiming.
Ray, what about you?
I'm going to go E on that one, too.
You're going to go D on that? All right.
E.
Oh, you're going E.
Yeah,
okay,
so
they
far,
said
nothing.
D.
Yeah.
So, you know what? I said C. Ray said E. 2 for D. So I think that means we got to put him in D.
All
so
right.
Thomas Jane as Punisher goes into the D list.
All right.
All right. Let's get on to our next one here.
All right.
In third position, Chris Hemsworth is Thor. Now, I bring this up because there's a piece of footage they showed us at CinemaCon that you guys saw part of the same thing at home. In the one trailer, Deadpool's looking at the screens, and one of the Avengers he sees on the screens is Chris Hemsworth. Now, what we saw, the additional extended piece of that scene, has a little bit more going on with him, which makes me wonder. Let's just put it this way. Something he sees on screen involves Thor and him as a possible future. Since they showed it to us, they're probably going to put it into a trailer later. But it makes me wonder if they're actually going to do it. So I'm going to go out and say Chris Hemsworth as Thor. I'm going to go B. I'm going to go as high as B on this one. Rob, what about you?
I'm going to go with you on B because I saw he was being interviewed with Anya Taylor-Joy about Furiosa.
Right.
And somebody mentioned this to him in the interview. And he goes, really? I'm in the movie? And I'm like, you're in the movie. You're totally in the movie, dude. Come on.
So where are you
So I'm
going to
go B.
You're going to go B,
Yeah.
Jonathan?
I hate to always just copy Rob, but I'm going to go B.
Ray?
I'm gonna go D on this one. I think that part in the TVA screen. I think that's the only time we're gonna see.
You're going to see that?
All right,
Physically
well,
see him.
we got 3 for B, so we're going to put Chris Hemsworth as Thor in the B spot. All right.
All right.
Let's get on to the next one. So this is one that only makes sense for one reason, and I'll get around to that reason in a second. But we're talking about Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange. Now, the reason I could see this as a possibility, and the reason I'm going to go high as B on this, is because there is a multiversal aspect to this movie. And Doctor Strange is as tied up in the multiversal stuff as anybody else. So for that reason, I'm not going to say A, but I'll go as high as B. Rob?
I'm going to go A.
Oh, you're going to go A.
I'm going to go A, and I'm
So
going
you're
to
going to go absolutely he's going
I
to be in it.
wouldn't be surprised if we see both Doctor Strange and Charlize Theron in the movie together doing something.
All right. Ray, what about you?
I'm gonna go C.
You're going to go C.
Yeah. I'm gonna
Okay.
go C.
Jonathan, what about you?
Yeah, I'm going B because I think this has to do with incursions.
All right, so we had 1A, 1C, and 2 Bs. So we'll slap Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange in the B position. Okay, next up, we've got, who's our 5th candidate here?
Oh,
The
yes.
mouthless Deadpool,
The best Deadpool there is.
played by Ryan Reynolds, mouthless Deadpool from X-Men Origins Wolverine. Ryan Reynolds seems to get a lot of joy out of mocking his own work, including Green Lantern. And didn't he have the action figure of the mouthless one too in the first Deadpool or something like that? So because of that, I'm going to go, I won't go to the A rank personally, but I'm going to go as high as B. Rob, what about you?
Oh, I think A. I think definitely, I think for a minute, Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool is going to turn into Ryan Reynolds' mouthless Deadpool.
All right, Jonathan?
I think A, he's going to be mentioned, but B, appearance. So B.
So you're going to go B, Ray?
I'm going A.
You're going A. All right, so we got 2 A's and 2 B's. All right,
You could keep it at B, I guess. B, yeah.
oh yeah, okay, so we're going to go lower on ties. We'll go the one lower on ties. So we're going to put mouthless Deadpool from X-Men Origins Wolverine. We're going to put down into the B slot. Okay, that brings us up to the next one. And the next candidate up is Patrick Stewart as Professor Charles Xavier. We're getting some of the bigger, more obvious ones out of the way here first. Look, I'm going to go A on this. Because I think a while ago, Patrick Stewart pretty much confirmed that he was going to be doing. I remember in early 2023, Patrick Stewart said, "Yes, Marvel's told me to be prepared to go do something." So I just don't see how it's not going to happen. Plus, it's hard for me to imagine Hugh Jackman doing something without Patrick Stewart at this time. Those two have such a great bond. So I'm going to go A for Patrick Stewart as Charles Xavier. Rob?
I'm going to go A, but let me ask you this.
All right.
Floating chair or no floating chair?
Floating chair.
All right.
I think it'll be floating chair Charles Xavier.
I think
As
so.
it's been established already in the MCU.
I think so too. I think so too.
Jonathan?
A.
A. All right, Ray?
A.
All right, our first A from Ray as well.
Across
so we are
the board.
slapping Professor Charles Xavier in the first A spot. Okay.
A.
A. Okay, so that
Hey.
obviously means that the next logical one that we have to talk about is, if I can get my screen right here, is Ian McKellen as Magneto. Now, when Patrick Stewart was talking about this, he kind of implied that Ian McKellen would be doing it too. Now, we didn't get, it's not like Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen are a package deal, right? We got Patrick Stewart in Multiverse of Madness, but we didn't get Ian McKellen. I think he will be in it, but I'm not willing to go as high as A. So I'll say Ian McKellen as Magneto. I believe he'll be in it, so I'm going to go as high as a B. Rob?
I'm gonna go A with it because I think Ryan Reynolds would want him there.
That's a
You
good
know,
point.
I think a lot of this is defined by Ryan Reynolds' sense of humor, and he's really knowing what the audience wants. And I think he wants to act opposite Ian McKellen.
Ray, what about you?
I'm gonna go B.
You're gonna go B on that,
Yeah.
Jonathan?
I'm gonna go A. I think if you're getting Patrick Stewart, you're getting Ian McKellen.
All right, so 2 A's and 2 B's?
Yeah.
All right, so we
And
go.
I think it's going to be funny too.
All right, so we round down to the B then. 2 A's and 2 B's, we round down to B. And again, I that means I think he's going to be in it. I'm just not willing to put the 100% on it.
Right.
Okay. Staying in that universe then, here's another interesting name that could be in there. Oh, that's the wrong one. Daphne Keane as X-23. Of course, she burst onto the scene, became a favorite for a lot of people in Logan. There's been a lot of debate about whether this is the Logan from Logan. I think it is. I honestly think it is. But John, I get the arguments, but I think it is. It might not be, might be another one. I'm going to do this. I'm going to say A. I think 100% Daphne Keane pops up in this. So I'm going to be putting her up in the A position. Rob, what about you?
I'm going to go B on that.
You say B on
I
it?
think B,
So you
yeah.
think she will, but you're not willing to say 100%.
Yeah, I think she will too.
Okay, Jonathan?
I'm gonna go B as well, only because I'm not quite sure how you work that in, unless he's just on the search for a Wolverine and ends up there, and you know what I mean. But yeah,
Yeah, and somebody has to explain to Wolverine what happened to him,
Yeah.
like maybe she does.
All right, Ray?
I'm gonna go C.
So you're going to say, so we have an A, a C, and 2 Bs. That means Daphne Keane is X-23 goes also into the getting crowded B listings.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we move on to our 9th candidate here. And our 9th candidate, Wesley Snipes' Blade. I already told you before he's going to be in this. So I'm just going to go A on it. Rob,
I'm A on this too.
you're A on it as well.
Yeah, A.
Ray,
E.
what?
Because you know who he wants in there.
You know who he wants in
E
there.
for denial.
E
No,
for
no.
denial
It's
lead.
A. If you guys say A, I'd say A.
Yeah, it's an A. Okay, so we got Wesley. So right now in the A slot, we only have Patrick Stewart as Professor X and Wesley Snipes as Blade. Okay, moving on to our 10th candidate now. Staying in the vampire realm, Mahershala Ali as Blade.
Oh,
now
man.
listen, one of the reasons Kevin Feige may want to do this is because he knows, even when they started production on Deadpool, we are so far behind on getting Mahershala Ali as Blade on screen. Let's get him in Deadpool, even if it's just for a shot. So I'm not going to go A on it, but I think he really does want him in there. So I'm going to say B. Rob, what about you?
I'm gonna go C.
You're gonna go-
I think it'd be cool, especially if you could have battling blades, like two blades fighting.
Oh, that was...
But we'll see. I think C.
We'll
though.
see.
We'll see. Jonathan,
I'm gonna go D.
you're going to go D on that one. So really lower on that. And Ray?
My heart says A, but my mind says E, baby. He's
Says
not gonna be
E.
E. He's not gonna be in there.
All right, then I think, and Jonathan, you said D, right?
D, yeah.
So we got a D and an E. I think he ends up being in the Mahershala Ali ends up in the D position.
Can I actually say something? Wasn't it the coolest when Wesley Snipes showed up as Blade for the first time in the Blade movie when and
With the blood rave?
yeah, invades that blood raid or
The
like
greatest thing ever.
Yeah, it's blood
I
rave.
want that moment with Mahershala. I can't have that moment cheated in a cameo in Deadpool.
I agree. I agree
That's
with
it.
that.
That's it. That's all. That's all. Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to our 11th candidate now. Chris Evans as Captain America.
Well, I mean, you know.
Now, we already know he's also another one of the heroes that pops up on the screen. And we also know that Chris Evans has already cameoed in another Ryan Reynolds film because he popped up in Free Guy. An amazing cameo, by the way. And yet, I'm going to say D. I'm going to say D on this. I just think there's a lot of other Avengers already popping up. And I'm going to go, so not impossible, but I'm going to say D. Rob, what about you?
I'm going to say D too because I think Chris Evans is going to be in the movie, but not as Captain America.
All right, Jonathan?
I'm actually going B on this one.
You're going to go as high as B.
Yeah.
Okay, Ray?
I go C. I'm gonna say a lot of C's because it's I just can't choose, you know. But C, yeah. I'll go
All right.
C.
I think we'll average this one out into the C position then. So we'll say Chris Evans as Captain America. We got him locked in there in the C position. All right. Let's move on now to our 12th candidate. Sticking in Chris Evans' world. Chris Evans as the Human Torch.
Oh, man.
Johnny Storm from Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
You know what? I didn't think this before, but I've had a couple of our viewers write into me making an argument for it, and damn, they were persuasive arguments. So while I am not going to say A on this, I will think it's a higher chance than him as Captain America. I will go to C on this of Chris Evans. So I think it's a coin toss. He's in there. Rob, what do you think?
I'm going A.
You're going A.
I'll tell you why.
You're like guaranteed.
I'm
he's gonna be in
guaranteeing he's
there.
going to be, because it's too good of a joke to comment on the multiverse and what it all means and how the different of characters between companies and all that, and Fox owned by Disney. And I think it's 100% he's going to be Johnny Storm in this movie.
Ray,
I'm gonna go B.
you're going to
I
go
feel
B
the
on
same
this?
way as you, but different letters.
All right, Jonathan.
I'm actually going A on this one as well. I think with the Fantastic Four coming up, you know, it just puts them back in the limelight of conversation a little bit more again. And I think we need to see more of the collapse of 20th Century Fox. If that monument's there,
Yeah.
it's not just about the X-Men.
Totally.
All right, so we got a C, a B, and two A's. So we'll average this one out to the B. So Chris Evans, much higher chance, we're saying, as Johnny Storm than as Captain America. Okay, we move now down to our 13th candidate. Candidate number 13, Halle Berry as Storm. I gotta go away on this. I mean, it was, remember when that story came out, right as they started filming Deadpool, there in the first couple of weeks of Deadpool shooting, Halle Berry suddenly was spotted with her to the letter Storm haircut back again. And there was even some comments she made that kind of implied it. So I just don't see any other way other than an A on this. I 100%, like, I'll be surprised if she's not in it. So I'm going to go A. Rob, what about you?
Me too.
You're going to go A on it?
Yeah, when it comes to Fox X-Men characters, if they're principal characters, I would imagine we're going to see them again.
Jonathan?
Yeah, A for me.
A for you, Ray?
A, because mainly I would love to see her in every movie, actually.
Yeah, me too.
I'd love to see her in every
Just like
movie.
she was in Swordfish.
All right,
Oh,
so
God.
she was great in Swordfish.
She
Like
certainly was
that
great.
scene notwithstanding, she was great in Swordfish.
Oh, with Wolverine too. Well, Hugh Jackman.
yeah,
was in
Hugh
that
Jackman
movie.
was in that
Yeah,
as well.
of course. There you go. Come on.
All right, we move on to our 14th candidate. Owen Wilson is Mobius.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Really?
Hey, listen. It's the TVA.
Yeah.
Owen Wilson's Mobius, I think, ended up being an even more popular character than I think maybe even Marvel suspected he might. I think they want to continue to use him in the MCU. I don't know that for a fact. I'm just saying, I'm guessing. So while there is seemingly no connection between Deadpool or Wolverine and Mobius, I'm going to go as high as a C on this. Rob, what about you?
Oh, I will go even higher. I'll go to B only
Yep.
because I do think that Matthew McFadden that we've seen in the
Yep.
trailers, I think that TVA is the TVA of a different universe. I think that's the Fox universe TVA that we never saw before.
Yeah.
And that Owen Wilson is our TVA, and I think something in the movie is the TVAs are going to be at odds.
Well, incursions again.
Yeah,
brings you back to Doctor Strange.
but it's incursions like our multiverse and their multiverse are like different I don't know this for a fact, but I'm just assuming.
See, I always thought the TVA existed outside
Yeah, me
of
too.
all that. Like
too.
all the
I don't
branches,
know.
they sit outside of time.
I
and
think we're going to
space.
find that's
I
not
don't know.
necessarily
Okay.
true.
Time
They could-
sits within each universe, but although I do agree, then why is there all those different like infinity stones, so infinity gems? You know.
Okay, so you're going B. Jonathan,
Yes.
what about you?
I was A, but you guys got me in doubt, so I'll go B.
Okay, you're going to go B, Ray?
I'm B. I'm
You're
at
B?
too.
All right, then Owen Wilson as Mobius is the newest tenant in the B level category. All right, we move on to our 15th candidate here. And our 15th candidate is Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark. I'll tell you what, I don't think it's a coincidence that Robert Downey Jr.'s tone in interviews went from back on the Howard Stern show a year or two ago, for as you know, it was a chapter of my life and blah blah blah, to in his most recent interview not long ago. You remember we talked about it on the show. He's like, I'd come back to the MCU in a second. It's a part of my DNA now. Playing Tony Stark is part of who I am. I would jump at the chance to come back. I don't think it's a coincidence that Deadpool is shooting while he's saying that. So I am going to go, I think it's just a quick cameo, but I'm going to go to a C on this for him in there. Rob, what about you?
I'll go C.
So you think it's a coin toss too?
I think it's a coin toss too. But I'm curious as to whether or not they'll do something interesting with Robert Downey Jr. that we might not expect.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
He is an Oscar winner now, by the way.
Something different.
Okay. Jonathan?
Dr. Doolittle? Whoa.
Oh my God, if he came up as Doolittle.
That would be...
Ryan Reynolds would pitch that idea to him.
I know. That...
Ryan Reynolds would pitch that to him.
Or it's, what if we see Ryan Reynolds starring in Green Lantern and Dr. Doolittle, where we meet Ryan Reynolds, the actor, and Robert Downey Jr., the actor, commiserating over their failed properties.
I'll be there. Anyway, so what did you say, C? You said C, Rob?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
C.
Jonathan?
I actually think because we're going to be getting our top tier Fox. I think we're going to be getting our top tier MCU as well. So I'm going to go A.
You're going to go A on this. Okay. Ray?
E. I'm going to go completely opposite. Downey Jr.'s Iron Man, no.
Well, that just brought him to the crowd.
So we had one A, one E, and two C's. So that just logically plops him right down there in the middle in C.
All right.
Okay. We now go on to our 16th candidate now? Yes. We're getting past we're well past the halfway point now. Elizabeth Olsen as Wanda Maximoff, a.k.a. WandaVision. Scarlet Witch.
You can start with me again.
I'm going to go, this will be the first one I put in here. I'm going to go straight up E.
Yep.
On this. I don't think she's going to be back in the MCU at all. I don't even think she'll be back for Secret Wars or anything like that. I mean, ask me that again in a year or two, but I don't see her coming back from this. I don't see it. While there is a multiversal connection for sure, I don't think she's going to be in there. She's my first nominee for the E list on this. Rob, what about you?
I'm going to go A.
You're going to go A?
And I'll tell you why.
You're saying like 100% Wanda's going to be in this movie.
I'll tell you why. Because go with me on this. What is the point of this movie? Other than Deadpool and Wolverine and being a romp and being fun and maybe bringing Deadpool into the MCU. What is the ultimate point? This movie has to have a purpose beyond just being the wacky fun thing.
But we already have our villain.
I'm not saying about villain.
Okay.
I think this entire film is going to end with the establishment of the X-Men in the MCU in whatever form that takes. That the end of this movie, when Deadpool winds up in the MCU, if he does, that we are going to know what the situation is about the X-Men in the MCU, the MCU's X-Men. Whether it's in a post-credit scene, it's going to tell us something definitive about the X-Men in the MCU. And that's why I think we have to have heavy hitter mutants involved somehow.
All right.
Whatever that means. I don't know what that means.
Jonathan, Rob's on the A. I'm on E. Where are you on this?
Well, look, I know that Scarlet Witch, she's a real mother effing G, but I'm going with the easy E.
Easy E. That was good.
That was good. That was
good. Okay, Ray, what about you?
I'm going to go with an E. It breaks my heart. I love her as Scarlet Witch. I want to see her again, but no.
Okay, so we've got 3 E's and an A. I think the A pulls her up out of the E slot and puts her in the D slot.
I think so.
On there. Okay, so we still don't have any inhabitants in the E category. What's going on here, guys? Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Cuts Clothing. Let's be real. Most guys would wear a t-shirt every day of their lives if we could. The problem is that most t-shirts are not acceptable to wear at work or out on a hot date. Today's sponsor, Cuts, has finally changed that. Cuts t-shirts are such high quality, wrinkle-free, and so buttery soft that you can look like you're dressing up even when you're dressing down. Yeah, you heard that right. They are wrinkle-free. And for a limited time, you can save money while redefining the dress code by heading to cutsclothing.com and use the code Campea for 20% off. Guys, you know me, when it comes to clothing, my number one priority is comfort, and I could not believe just how comfortable my Cuts shirt was. It was light, it breathed, it felt like $1,000,000, and it made me feel like I looked like $1,000,000 too. And the best part? Cuts clothing is built to last. Their durable construction means you'll be enjoying your favorite shirts and pants for years to come, making them a smart investment for your wardrobe. So guys, for a limited time, our listeners get 20% off your entire order when you use the code CAMPEA at checkout. That's 20% off your order at cutsclothing.com with the promo code CAMPEA. Please support our show by telling them that the John Campea Show sent you. Experience the perfect blend of style and comfort with Cuts Clothing. All right. We move on now to our 17th contestant here for a possibility of being a cameo in Deadpool and Wolverine. Channing Tatum is Gambit.
Come on now.
All right.
Oh, man.
This dude's going in A.
100%.
He's going in A. Look at how, first of all, just go back to that Comic-Con panel years ago when they first announced that he was going to be Gambit. And there's all those photos of him and Ryan Reynolds backstage hugging and all that kind of stuff. And then you got Free Guy. How good was Channing Tatum in Free Guy? So you got Ryan Reynolds and Channing Tatum clearly love working together. Just last year, Channing Tatum was talking more about, you know, how much he really wishes the Gambit thing worked out. I'm telling you, Ryan Reynolds is putting him in this movie. I'm putting him as Gambit in the A slot.
In the classic outfit.
In the classic outfit, yeah.
In the 100%, dude.
You're on A as well?
100%.
Ray, what about you?
100%.
You're A on it? All right, is this our next unanimous A, Jonathan?
A.
And unanimous A on that? Honestly, I thought you guys would fight me on this.
No.
I really did. Okay, so we've got...
We're saving it up for other fights.
Yeah.
Beyond this segment.
Yeah, the other fights beyond this segment.
Let it build up inside, baby.
That was our number 17. Let's go down to our number 18 here, shall we? Things are getting more interesting. Famke Janssen as Jean Grey. I think the biggest argument for this is that we're seeing a lot of the original OG ones. She, of course, popped up at the end of X-Men Days of Future Past. I'm not willing to put her in the A slot, though. Because I think I remember her talking on the red carpet of Days of Future Past saying it was nice to be able to come in and close the book. And that, I mean, obviously that's because they didn't think about Deadpool and Wolverine, but so I think she'll be in there, but I'm not willing to go A, so I'm going to propose her for B. Rob, what about you?
I got to go A. I got to go A because I want to see her go up against Wanda.
Okay. Jonathan?
I'm going to go C. 50,
You're going to go down to C.
Yeah, 50-50. I'm not.
All right, Ray?
I'm going to go C as well.
All right, so we have an A, a B, and 2 C's. So we'll drop her in the C division on this. Okay. Let's move on here. That was number 18. As we now look over to number 19. And our 19th candidate, James Marsden as Cyclops. I mean, if you're going to bring up, you know, Phoenix, you got to bring up Cyclops. So I love James Marsden in this role. I always thought he was the one thing that in all of the original X-Men movies that they constantly got wrong was how they handled Cyclops. And I think there will be a joke about him being horribly misused in the other X-Men. And even though I said a B for Jean, I'm going to go an A on this.
Me too.
I think it's there. Rob, you're going to go for an A on this? Why is that?
Because he's the leader of the X-Men. And if you start throwing in the X-Men, you got to have Cyclops. And by the way, I hope he's in the full-on Jim Lee garb. I'm hoping X-Men 97, full-on Cyclops wearing those yellow bandoliers.
Brother, you don't think he'll be Cyclops in the X-Men moving forward, right? You're just saying for this particular movie. Yeah, just for this.
Just like Wolverine's in the classic, he's going to go full Jim Lee Cyclops.
Okay, what about you, Jonathan?
I think they're a pair, Jean and him, so I'm going C. If it's going to happen, they're both going to happen.
Okay, you're going to go down to C. Ray?
I'm going to go C as well. I feel exactly the way John thinks.
All right, so we got 2 A's and 2 C's. That firmly plants them, again, in that getting really crowded B category. All right, we move on now to number 20. In our 20th spot, Taylor Swift as Dazzler. This is one that obviously, look, when at the NFL game, when you had Levy, you had Ryan Reynolds, you had Hugh Jackman, all in her private box there at the football game. A lot of talk and conversations about that. I'm not so sure about the Dazzler aspect, but I personally have no doubt that she will be in the movie. I have no doubt about that. So I got to put Taylor Swift in the A category. Rob, what about you?
I'm gonna put her in the A category too, because even if she doesn't play Dazzler, she could just be playing herself in some. I mean, she exists in the universe, so why not? The real question is, here's this, John. If we believe that she's in it, will there be an original Taylor Swift musical composition in the film?
100% there would be.
100%.
I completely agree with
100%.
that. All right, Ray, what about you?
In order to hit the billion, you got to add Taylor. So I
Not
got
sure
to give it
that's
a B.
true, but
B for a billion, baby.
You're going to go B for $1 billion. Jonathan.
I was leaning B, but I think I'm gonna actually go A.
Yeah, I just don't think there's much question about it that she's going to be. Of course, we don't know that for a fact, but I'm going to be shocked if she's not in it. So remember, we're not talking about whether we thought or not we think she should be in it. We're talking about whether we think she will. And I think she
How do you,
will.
if you're friends with her, how do you pass that up now? I mean, it's all Taylor Swift's universe. We're just living in it. Why not put her in it?
All right.
Travis Kelce is Sabretooth.
No, Colossus.
Well, we have Colossus.
No, he's the new one.
No.
All right. Let's go on to our next candidate
No.
here. Josh Brolin as Thanos.
A.
Now,
100%.
you already jumped the
He
gun.
already jumped. You
Jumped
didn't even
the
let
gun.
John answer.
Jump at the gun on that. Listen, I'm going to shock the world. I'm going to go E.
No.
Yeah, I'll tell you why. They are Thanos'd out. They've made the Thanos jokes in another Deadpool movie already. And you know, Josh Brolin has already kind of said, this isn't the biggest factor, but Josh Brolin has already directly said, I'm not in this movie. Now, he might be lying. So I'm not saying that's the main thing, but I honestly think they're now trying to move on from Thanos. And if you're not going to move on from Thanos, I don't think Deadpool and Wolverine is the one you bring him in.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go straight up E
Same.
on Josh Brolin as Thanos. Rob, you're going to go the opposite.
I'm going to go the opposite.
You're going to say A.
And they're going to do maybe some cable Thanos joke.
All right. Jonathan,
D.
you're going to go D. Ray?
E. I'm with you.
All right. So we got 2 E's, a D, and an A. We'll average this one down to a D. So we're going to put him down here in the D spot.
I mean,
Okay.
I want to hear that your chin looks like my face joke.
But he's already in another Deadpool movie.
already
He's
kinda
made
done
Thanos'
that.
I
face
guess so.
chin jokes.
He's
You
like
know?
the biggest villain, and then you're gonna undermine this villain that we have in this movie.
Not
All
to
right.
mention, we've already heard Star-Lord talk about his chin.
Yeah, they've already made all the jokes. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
We don't need no prunes.
All right. Let's get on to number 22. All right. This one I think has a better chance. Josh Brolin is Jonah Hex. I actually think
He's a DC character.
No.
I actually think,
No.
regardless of where it comes from,
You have lost your mind.
with the relationship between Kevin Feige and James Gunn, and a complete character that James Gunn has no plans on ever using again.
You have lost your damn
Well,
mind.
I said E for Thanos. I gotta say a D for one of the worst comic book movies ever made, which Ryan Reynolds loves that. Like being a part of one of the worst comic book movies ever made. He jokes about himself all the time. And he kind of looks like Deadpool a little bit with his face. I'm gonna say Josh Brolin as Jonah Hex in the D position.
We just lost all the viewers right now.
D. Rob, what do you think?
I got to go E on that.
You're gonna go E, Jonathan?
I don't know what the D position is, but I'm gonna go E.
You're gonna go E, Ray?
I'd rather be E than get the D.
All right, then Jonah Hex gets Josh Brolin's Jonah Hex is the first person.
Congratulations.
Hey, well done getting into the E spot. First one ending up
Yeah.
into the E position.
Starting on the ground floor, baby.
Didn't work. Nowhere to go but up. All right,
Although you have brought up an interesting question.
Oh, here we go.
what's
Oh,
that?
here we go.
About
Will
the
there be
cross-pollination?
any DC characters in this movie? Will there be any potential crossover? You just acknowledged the James Gunn connection.
Yeah, but
Any
the,
DC characters?
the only reason I thought Jonah Hex would even be a 5% possibility is because it's a character I don't think James Gunn would ever want to touch.
Right.
So it'd have to be a character like that. So
I don't think so, Rob.
and it's Josh Brolin.
But it'd be interesting. I have this. I want to see a DC character show up in this movie because it would be amazing.
No.
All right, we need to move on here.
Yeah.
We need to move on. We get on to number 23. In the number 23 spot,
My boy.
Nicolas Cage as Ghost Rider. I'll tell you what. When I first thought of this, I guffawed at it. But again, Ryan has got a big soft spot for terrible comic book movies. Nicolas Cage is all the rage right now. Again, they just announced, for those of you who missed it, they just announced yesterday Nicolas Cage is going to be starring in Spider-Man Noir, a live-action Spider-Man Noir, a live-action version of his character from Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, is going to get its own live-action show. Likely, no. But I'll say coin toss. I'll go a C on Nick Cage's Ghost Rider. Rob, what about you?
I'm going to go B.
He was Fox, right? That was Fox.
No.
No? Or was it
I
Sony?
believe it was.
Was it? Okay.
I think it was Fox.
I thought it was Lionsgate.
Let me look that up.
I don't
Either way, it's a Marvel character. So, I mean, I'm going to put him in the C spot. You're going to go higher than me. You're going to say B.
I'm going to go B.
I thought you might actually go lower. All right, Jonathan, what about you?
Go to Ray. Oh, it's Sony.
Oh, it was Sony that put it out.
So, no. I'm going D. I'm going E.
Well,
going E too.
Marvel has the rights to the character back, so it's a Marvel character.
I know, but my thing is like the fall of Fox, so it doesn't fall into that. So.
Okay. To follow up with Sony, we know they did reshoots for this movie recently in the last couple weeks.
Yes.
Is Madam Web in this movie?
No.
Yes. I hope so.
Come on.
Sony would never allow it.
Are you lying, Jonathan?
They're
Sony would
gonna
never allow
open up with table dancing.
No, Sony would never allow it.
How funny would
And
that be?
let's save other candidates for later, though, when we get to the end of the list. Jonathan, what were you saying?
Oh, I'm gonna go E.
You're going to go E on it?
Same. E.
You're going to go E? Okay, so we got a B, a C, and 2 E's, so we'll put it in the D spot down there. Okay, just a couple more left on my list. So that was Ghost Rider. We go now to the number 24 person, Tom Hiddleston as Loki. And I'll tell you the main argument for this one. There's a big multiversal thing going on. At the end of Loki season 2, who's the one sitting on the throne, kind of holding all the realities together? It's Tom Hiddleston. I could totally see near the end of Act 3 of this movie, them like coming before the Wonderful Wizard of Oz at the end, and it being Loki. I'm not going to say A, but I'm going to go as high as B on this one. Rob, what about you?
I think I'm going to go A.
Oh,
I think he has
A.
to be, doesn't he?
I don't think he has to be. He hasn't been in any other multiversal thing, but
And if this is a different TVA, again, to your argument,
Well, they're going to both. I think he's A. I'm going to go A on him.
okay,
I think I went B on Mobius, so I'm gonna go B on him.
okay, Ray.
I'm gonna go C. I just don't know.
Okay, we have an A, a C, and 2 Bs, so that means we slap him right there in the middle in B. Okay, just 2 left on my list. Then we'll entertain some other notions here. We're looking at number 25 right now. And at number 25, I put forward to you Tom Hardy as Venom. Now, listen, they've already created a connection to the MCU, a very badly done, badly executed, this one little thing of him left behind, and he was talking to a bartender. So it was a pathetic connection, but nonetheless, a connection that is there. Remember, this is a Deadpool movie. This shouldn't be taken too seriously. It's like, well, I mean, if they have Tom Hardy's Venom in it, that means it's going to have to use him. No, it doesn't. So I like it. I'm going to go C. Coin toss. Doing his own movies already with another studio, but I will still go as high as C. What do you think, Rob?
I am going to go C with you on this one. I think it's a coin toss. Although there was a Venom movie in production while this movie was in production, so they could, easily figure out a way to
hop on a plane, go over somewhere, shoot for a day, and come back. Ray, what about you?
I'm gonna go E.
You're going to go all the way down to E? Jonathan?
Yeah, I'm joining Ray. E.
All right, I think, well, then if I said C, you said C? Rob said C?
I said C.
Okay, so you got 2 C's, 2 E's. So that puts him in the D category. All right.
Poor Jonah Hex.
Poor Jonah Hex right now. All right. That leads us to the granddaddy of them all.
Oh, yes.
The last person I'm bringing up here, I think we all acknowledge this is probably going to be across the board A's.
Yeah.
But Jared Leto is Morbius.
Oh, I thought you meant you were going to go somewhere else.
Well, tell me who you think in a minute. Jared Leto as Morbius. They already did the little crossover with him at the end of the Morbius movie. Obviously, this is a all-time classic film. This, if I had S level, this would be S level. No, in all seriousness, they did do the crossover. I've seen a lot of people bring up the idea of Morbius being in this. And honestly, I think there's some good reasons for it. Here's why this is why I'm going to say E. And this is the only reason. Again, because this movie was such a failure, I don't think Sony would ever allow it. If it wasn't for that, I actually think, because again, Ryan Reynolds loves making jokes about his own terrible movies and stuff like that. But because I don't think Sony would allow it, I will go E on it. Anyway, Rob, what about you?
Okay. If Blade is in this movie,
oh my goodness.
Morbius is in this movie and Blade's going to kill him.
Well, don't we have Blade in the
But
A
Blade doesn't
position?
kill Morbius
Yes.
in the movie.
Yeah, we've got.
I
Wesley
know,
Snipes
but
as
it's
Blade
this
in
kind
the
of
A
movie.
position.
It's a multiverse.
Symbolism. Like,
Blade is going to kill Morbius in this movie.
But does Jared Leto's agent allow him to be in a film where he's like,
And would Sony want the character
We're gonna
to be in
kill
the
him
film
'cause
where
the
that's
character-
But it's a different variant. Who cares?
I don't think you get the. I don't think you get.
How much
Yeah.
fun would that scene
But I'm asking, you're a
be?
Sony exec. You think they actually allow that to
No.
happen?
Or his agent.
Look,
Not should they let it happen. Would they let it happen?
I think at this point, they might not let it happen.
Stavros in the live chat is saying, now I want it.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, this is the thing. I'm saying that in this particular movie, anything goes, and that's too great of a moment not to do it. If Blade's in the movie,
Nah, man.
Blade kill Morbius.
You can't overcome the business of Hollywood. No
All right,
way.
But
Ray?
this movie is doing just that.
But so
go
give me
E.
a letter. Give me a letter.
I'm gonna go A.
You're saying
God.
like
Going all in.
You're all in on
I love my
it.
idea about Blade killing Morbius.
Morbius is in it.
I have to stand by it.
Okay.
Who wouldn't do that?
Me.
Okay.
But go ahead. His agent.
Jonathan?
Real quick, what was the crossover? Because was there actually a crossover to the MCU?
Yeah, Michael
because,
Keaton
oh yeah. with
So how did
Vulture.
that happen?
as Vulture.
How did that work?
I can't remember much about the movie. I saw it 3 times and I can't remember.
Did they
much.
just have him there, or because if they had like an
By the way, whatever happened to our Morbius minute? That's
we can
another
still pick it
conversation
up.
for another time.
Still do
because
it.
it kind of weighs on my decision here, but you know what? That barring that, since someone can remember the film, I'm gonna go E.
Because remember, he flies to meet him in the middle of the desert. He says, "We need to talk," or "We should
Yeah.
talk," and stuff like that.
But he's in the Sonyverse, so I don't get it. E. They don't even know what they're doing.
All right, Ray.
I said E.
All right, we got 3 E's and an A, but I think the E's are going to win it out here. And our second roommate, Josh Brolin, is Jonah Hex.
What a
That's a
great
roommate
couple.
down there. All right, so now those are the 26 that I had.
I only have one.
All right, now I want to ask you guys, what are some other ones that maybe we should put in there? Ray.
100% Wong.
Oh my God.
I think we can
Yeah.
all agree that portal could have been open.
That that portal could have been okay. There's 3 possibilities about the portal. First possibility, Doctor Strange. Second possibility, Ned. Third possibility, Wong. But Kevin Feige recently said it's basically the Wong
if I
cinematic
put
universe
all my
now.
money in something, it's got to be Wong's appearance in this. That's the only one I'm confident.
You know what?
I'm confident in putting money on.
You sold me. I'm there with you. Wong is an A, I think. Rob?
That's my only one.
I think Wong's an A too.
All right, Jonathan?
I think someone opens that portal, and I don't think that portal's being opened by Doctor Strange. I think that's so A.
Okay, so Wong becomes a unanimous entrant into the A level on there. All right, Jonathan, you got anybody that we haven't mentioned yet that maybe we should bring up?
Not really. I mean,
Who would you like to see if you made the movie? Just name one character, even if we haven't seen him on screen.
we didn't talk about.
I'm just kidding.
We didn't talk about any, and there has to be time jumps because we see Patch if that is Patch.
Well, we know they go to Sokovia.
yeah.
You know,
I mean, we didn't talk about any of the younger X-Men versions.
Well, okay, let me throw this one out here. Here's a whisper that's been going around. Patch? It's Henry Cavill.
So it's not even
there's whispers going around that there are going to be Wolverine variants, and that the reason they only showed us the back of Patch Wolverine in that one trailer was because it's not Hugh Jackman.
Right.
And there are whispers going around that Patch is going to be Henry Cavill. There's also a whisper going around that it's Daniel Radcliffe. Now, Daniel Radcliffe has pretty actively shot those down.
Yeah.
But let's throw it out there. I'll propose it. I'll make
Patch
it official
as an alternate.
I will come to the floor and say Henry Cavill as a Wolverine variant. I'm going to go C.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, same thing.
C's good.
But my heart wants to see that.
Yeah, me too. Obviously, I'm a big Henry. So Henry Cavill as Wolverine variant. Okay, so we got them in C. Rob, you got any names you want to throw out there?
Oh, he's probably got like thousands.
Yes.
Okay.
Sue, Reed, Ben, and Johnny, the Fantastic Four,
And
the
this-
new Fantastic
the new
Four,
Fantastic
the
Four.
Marvel
because-
Fantastic Four are in this movie
The
somewhere.
reshoot.
Okay. So the new Fantastic
Our
Four.
new Fantastic Four are going to be introduced somewhere in this movie.
All right. We'll
Bold.
start with you. Where do you put that?
B.
Gonna go B on that?
You bring that up and you don't even give it an A.
Well,
Well, no,
because,
you can bring up one up that you
because
don't
I
necessarily
can
think it's
see,
gonna be
you know,
an A.
and I think that it's a way, because they always establish new characters. I mean, the way they,
Yes.
and I think the Fantastic Four would be interesting to be in, because this movie can't just, we're making it sound like it's a wackadoo comic romp, and I think there's got to be some grounding
And
into
the
the
Fantastic
MCU.
Four came from somewhere, and it doesn't make sense that they're just we haven't talked about them yet.
Yes, and I think
I'm actually
you're
gonna go.
B, Jonathan.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go A.
You're gonna go A.
Yeah.
All right.
It's the official handover of that property. It's B. Like on screen handover.
So two B's,
All right.
one A.
I do not think they're gonna be there at all.
So
But,
E?
so I'm gonna go D. But it looks like B's have it. So
Can I-
new Fantastic Four.
You know, I
Okay.
haven't been hyped for Fantastic Four at all. If they show a glimpse of this new family in this movie, you know I'll be counting the days of Fantastic Four.
if it's got to be good though.
Yeah.
Roland's asking no Elektra, but we know Elektra's in it. That was announced. So
All right. Yeah, we didn't put Elektra on the list because that's the one that's been officially announced.
Yeah.
That's not even a question. So Elektra, played by Jennifer Garner. All right, I'm gonna throw one out. I got another one for you.
all right.
Edward Norton as Hulk.
Oh, for sure,
That's what he sounds like too.
for sure.
Oh,
You know what? I'm gonna go A.
you're gonna go A.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh man.
Ray.
I gotta go D just because I don't know if he'll actually do it.
Okay.
That's Universal though, right?
Yeah.
That was released by Universal.
But it was still a Marvel thing, and
I'm gonna go D.
okay, you're gonna go D.
Too
I'm
muddled.
I'm gonna say C, and the reason I'll go as high as C because look, obviously there was a lot of animosity and bad
Yes.
blood, so much that Edward Norton didn't even do the press tour
Yeah.
for Hulk. He would not promote the film, all that kind of stuff. But that was years ago.
Yeah.
And what better way to make a public statement of, hey, we've patched things up, than to come in and do a little cameo? So I'm going to say C. I'm going to say C because I think first inclinations would be like an E, but I'm going to go as high as C on that. So I'm going to plot because you said A.
I said A.
Jonathan, what did you say?
D.
You said D.
But I think
Ray?
A is foolhardy.
D.
Can I change it to B?
And I'm going to say C. So I think with a couple of D's, an A, and a C, I think we'll put him in there
C.
as Edward Norton.
Someone said Eric Bana.
Hulk. Well, that was the next thing I was going to bring up. What about the Eric Bana Hulk? More importantly, what about Nick Nolte as Phantom? You know, the Phantom Hulk.
I think that we haven't strayed enough. Like I've got one. Well, I already said mine.
We'll give it a grade.
I got another one.
Well, no, give me another one. What's another one?
David Hasselhoff as
Nick Fury. That was one that
Dude.
crossed my mind too.
No.
That's awesome.
No.
Come on.
Now wait a minute. Here's a good argument
That
for it.
might have been
Here's an
Fox,
argument for it.
too.
Remember that Guardians of the Galaxy special they did?
Oh yeah, they.
David Hasselhoff was so we've already got a bit of a Marvel connection
Yep.
there. Now, the argument against it that I was talking about before is nobody knows that.
But that's okay.
Nobody knows it, but he did pop. You know, I'll be willing to go to D on that. I'll take it out of the E cellar and I'll go to D on that. David Hasselhoff is Nick
I
Fury.
go because it's the kind of thing that Ryan Reynolds would do.
Yeah. Okay. So where would you rank this?
C.
You'll go C. I'll go
Yeah.
D. You'll go C. Jonathan.
That was as late as 1998. So okay, we're saying Hasselhoff, the Hoff.
The
Hawk.
Hawk as Nick Fury.
I'll go C.
C.
I'll
Ray.
go D.
Okay. So we rounded down. So we go the Hoff as Nick Fury. All right. So we end up with down in the bottom only 2 inhabitants. I thought we were going to end up with more down there. 2 inhabitants in the E saying no chance in hell. Josh Brolin and Jared Leto as Morbius. In the D level, Thomas Jane as Punisher, Mahershala Ali as Blade, Elizabeth Olsen as Wanda, Josh Brolin as Thanos, Nick Cage as Ghost Rider, Tom Hardy as Venom, and the Hoff, David Hasselhoff as Nick Fury. In the 50-50 chance, we've got Ben Affleck as Daredevil, Chris Evans as Captain America, Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark, Famke Janssen as Jean Grey, Henry Cavill as Wolverine variant. Notice I'm not saying Patrick, I'm just saying any variant. And Edward Norton as Hulk. Getting into the likelihood. B's, we got Chris Hemsworth as Thor, Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange, a mouthless Deadpool from X-Men Origins Wolverine, Ian McKellen as Magneto, Daphne Keane as X-23, Chris Evans as Johnny Storm, Owen Wilson as Mobius, James Marsden as Scott Summers, Tom Hiddleston as Loki, and the new Fantastic Four. And then up in our A stratosphere, saying
where we
we
belong.
totally believe they're going to be in there. We'll be shocked if they're not. Patrick Stewart as Professor X, Wesley Snipes as Blade, Halle Berry as Storm, Channing Tatum as Gambit, Taylor Swift as Dazzler, or any other character, and Wong.
Oh, and Kevin Bacon as himself.
And Kevin Bacon as himself, which I wouldn't put that in E. I mean, I wouldn't put that
Yeah,
in E.
that's a good one actually.
Guys, question is for you. That was a long one, but question is for
So she
you.
said.
That's what she
What
said.
do you think about this? Are there any big major ones we missed out on? Would you have changed this one around a little bit? Maybe we rank some guys lower than you think we should have. Maybe we have some higher than you would have. Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comments section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.